It's week 9 of the Hyundai A-League. At the NIB Stadium in Perth, a late goal saw Brisbane Roar defeat Glory 2-1. That defeat saw Perth Glory plunge down the table and they're now 10 points behind leaders Adelaide United. As a result, coach Dave Mitchell became the first managerial casualty of the season. Mitchell shocked the A-League fraternity when he announced he'd hand over the coaching reins to his assistant Ian Ferguson in order to take up a director of coaching role at the club. He's got firm ideas about the way forward.
We try to play football a lot, and a lot of people get caught up in Australia where we want to play the beautiful game. Now, unfortunately, we lack the depth and the quality to play at the top level, and we've got to realise where we are in the world football, and we try and play it. There's a development system that's come out, and we've copied the Dutch system, which is fantastic because the Dutch as a nation have produced a lot of top stars, and it's the right way to go. But at the top end, when you have to win games for your results and your bread and butter depends on winning, well, there's a bit of a mix that you have to do that, and that's something that I think was probably missing at the time.
After a bright start to the season, Glory have fallen away, and following a club record 4 straight losses, Mitchell saw the writing on the wall. Perth Glory owner Tony Sage believes it's time to see some return on the investment he's made in the club since taking over in 2007. He's targeting nothing less than the Asian Champions League crown.
I had a 3-year plan. This is the 3rd year. I'm hoping that we win the league this year. My ultimate aim is to win the Asian Champions League. If you win the Asian Champions League, you get a crack at the Europe, or basically all the Champions Leagues around the world. They have the World Club Cup now. That's my ultimate aim, just to get into the Champions League every single year. I think ultimately in the end, what I want to do is bring a title to Western Australia and to Perth, and I think the fans then will flock. And you know, my dream is to have this stadium full with 19,000–20,000 people every week.
Sage and Mitchell assembled one of the strongest squads in the A-League ahead of this season's campaign, with marquee recruit Robbie Fowler the icing on a cake in a team quite capable of challenging for honours. All clubs are permitted to recruit a marquee player, a big name to help raise the profile of the game, and Fowler's arrival has certainly been front-page news in Perth. Crowds here are currently averaging 12,000, which is 3 times the interest generated by the A-League's predecessor, the NSL. With the Aussie rules and rugby NRL seasons drawing to a close, the world's foremost football code has a real opportunity to broaden its appeal.
I think it's definitely come a long way since I left 10 years ago, or some 11, 12 years ago, and that's on the back of us qualifying for the last 2 World Cups. I think it's a massive bonus for football within Australia, but there is still a lot of work to do, and it's kind of divided when you get to each kind of state. I think Melbourne and obviously here in Adelaide, they're big AFL followers, and the NRL on the weekend is a kind of an eastern kind of state of Sydney and a Brisbane kind of contingent. So, it's coming along, and I think it's all going to depend on how we do as well, with a new kind of young kind of national team coming through, blooding some new players. So on the back of that success and more talented players coming to these shores, I think it can only go one way, and up the top to compete with them.
Few visitors to Perth on Australia's west coast can fail to be impressed by the wonderful outdoor lifestyle. But this city of nearly 1.7 million inhabitants is also one of the most isolated places in the world. The nearest large city, Adelaide, is over 2,000 kilometres distant. And whilst the rest of the teams in the A-League average close to 50,000 kilometres of travel each season, Glory will be flying over 4 times as far. And they've got a 3-hour time difference to deal with as well.
It's a unique place being isolated. The travel obviously is the hard side of things, but it's a bit of a bonus for us, for guys coming over here to play us too. It's a bit of a fortress NIB stadium, so I enjoy it. Everything here in Perth moves at a slower pace. We've got the beautiful climate, so I enjoy it.
I've come over here and it's, I've loved it. The weather's fantastic. The football is not as bad as what people make it out, and I've loved it from day one I've been here. When you wake up and you're in a hot country and you feel healthier, you feel fresher, and it's just that the lifestyle is so different. Eventually I'm going to go back home, but for now I'm really enjoying it. And as I said before, you wake up, you open the curtains, you open your blinds, and the sun's shining through, you feel great.
Whilst encouraging quality foreign players to come to Australia, the A-League also needs to keep their best players within the country. For Australia to become a stronger football nation, it has to improve the level of local competition and attempt to gain additional support in the form of sponsorship funds. According to club captain Jacob Burns, the A-League, formed only in 2004, may be gaining credibility, recognition and respect for its competitiveness and quality, but there's still a way to go.
What has happened in the past is a lot of young talent has left before they've even broken into the A-League, if you like. At 15, 16, they're getting snapped up by European clubs and trying to get over there because it's, in all honesty, it hasn't been our #1 sport. And the next time you see them, they're 30-odd in the twilight of their career coming back. I would like to see change. I'd like us to hang on to our young talented players. It would make our national team that much stronger, the national competition that much stronger, and you'd get more and more players wanting to come out here and play.
Perth Glory is one of only 3 clubs to predate the A-League, but their only silverware came in the days of the old, overcrowded National Soccer League. However, the signing of Fowler is proof that the club is aiming high, and the hope is that Glory can at long last put Western Australia well and truly on the football map.
We as a team have set our goals early, and we're going to go about our business that way. There's going to be times in the league where we're not going to be sitting where we want, but come the end of it, I think we do have the depth and the quality with the experience of the older guys that have been in Europe and played, and the young guys coming through that are breaking into the young Socceroos and Olympic teams. If we can keep everyone on the pitch and fit, then I think we're definitely a chance, and I believe that we can be up there.